Hello y'all, and welcome back to another devlog by Maximus Games. Now, if you've been keeping track of us lately, you know we've made huge progress on our game, Time Walk Tower Defense. Now, just a few weeks ago we released a trailer for our game, which if you haven't already, you need to go check it out. You get a really cool first look at Space Emperor Zotch. Now, just a week after that, we released our game for the first round of beta testing, which was a huge step for us. Now, to get ready for that, we had a mad freaking dash, all three of us. I know personally, I put in close to 20-30 hours of work into the game in the 3 days leading up to beta testing alone. Now, trying to do that much work, which probably could have been spread out over a week or two, on top of doing all my normal school and work, meant that those 3 days were absolutely insane. I think I got like 10 hours of sleep combined in 3 nights. But it was a lot of progress, and I'm really excited to show it off to y'all. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did to get ready for beta testing and everything I've been working on since then. Let's get into it.
Alright, let's talk about this gosh darn tower directory first. Now, somehow someone broke the whole freaking thing. So before I could go and change things and get it ready for testing, I had to go in and fix everything. But it's fine. After fixing the fact that the whole tower directory was broke, I was getting a bunch of errors because when towers try to shoot at things, but there's nothing for them to shoot at, the computer kind of freaks out. So it was actually a pretty easy fix. I just went in and made separate prefabs for the directory towers that didn't have the script that would make them attack. Now, I also had to manually put in the stats for all of these towers, including the future towers, which have some weird and kind of hard to understand stats. Now, because we added in this stats window on the right, I had to go in and recenter all of our towers. And because our towers changed position, I also had to go and recenter our camera rotators as well. After that, I also had to update our directory, because we had some changes to our towers. So the wizard was feeling a little weak. What we did to fix this was we scrapped the Mana Spire and joined its powers with the conduit, so it was like a double whammy 2-for-1 tower. Then we gave the wizard a new tower to take its place. We made the Arcane Inhibitor, which gives the wizard a cool extra power to his attacks, which you'll have to see in the game. Now, we also looked at one of the general's towers. The radar site was honestly just not worth it, so we went in a completely different direction. We got rid of the radar site and replaced it with the military industrial complex. Now, this tower is kind of interesting. It gives you extra money at the end of each round, which really pays off on some of our longer levels. Honestly, it's way OP right now, but we'll fix it eventually. For now, it's just kind of fun. A smaller thing I had to do was get rid of the conduit upgrade, because we decided to have no upgrade for this particular tower. I definitely hadn't already made a cool design for it or anything, so I was totally fine just scrapping it. Speaking of upgrades, I also had to get in all of the upgrade designs into the tower directory, and their upgraded stats and descriptions to go with it. Now, we're not even close to done here. This wasn't at all everything that needed to get done for the first round of beta testing. So let's keep moving and talk about the enemy directory. First off, the chieftain in the directory was missing his orbs, so I had to go and put those in. Then there were also some issues with the lighting in the enemy directory. Some of these enemies would be so dark you couldn't even see any of the features. Now, I know I worked very hard on these designs, and I wanted to show them off. So I just added a light and moved it so we could see all the enemies. Honestly, this is kind of a quick fix. It's what's going to work for now. Well, I'll probably have to go in and do something more advanced in the future. Now, I also had to get rid of some leftover things from the tower directory. Namely, the upgrade button was still there, and obviously our enemies don't have upgrades, so I had to scrap this. Also, there was a bug where you would go back to the main enemy directory after looking at the enemies, and it would say tower directory at the top, which is not correct, so I had to rework the code a bit to fix that. I also disabled everything besides the time-lost enemies, because in our first beta test, these were the only ones that mattered. Now, in the enemy directory, I also had to add in all the stats so our playtesters, and eventually all of y'all, could see how fast and how healthy the enemies are, along with any special powers they may have. Now, the last menu system that needed a lot of changes was the settings and options menu. For the most part, we disabled this for beta testing. You couldn't really change all the key bindings. But this past week, I was finally able to fix all the problems that I was having with it. The main issue was with the key binding selection system. You see, the way that it works is you press what key you want to bind that attack to. But when you would go to click confirm, or when you would go to try and click to start setting the key binding, it would try and set the binding to mouse 0, which is wrong. That's not what you're trying to do. So the problem was I had to make it ignore clicking the buttons. Basically, the way I did this was by changing it to register the key binding on get key up, not get key down, which it made it ignore the clicking the confirm button. And I also added in a bool variable to check whether or not it was the initial click that was starting the key bindings. And this fixed it right up, so now that system is working perfectly. Now, the last big thing that I did before beta testing was I added this feature of using the escape key to all of our menus. So pretty much anywhere on the menu system, if you hit escape, you'll go back to the last page you were on. So let's say you're in the time lost enemies in the enemy directory. Hitting escape will take you back to the page with all the different enemy types. If you hit escape again, it will take you back to the main menu. It's a really cool feature that increases the usability of that escape key.
Alright, now obviously that was a lot to get done, especially when I did it all in like 3 days. But now let's take a moment to see what I've been working on since then.
So me and my brothers have kept grinding, getting these levels cranked out, which honestly is kind of fun in my opinion. We take about 30 minutes to figure out which enemies we want in each wave, and then it's about an hour of just playing the game as different heroes, and making minor adjustments to make the level better. It's really cool to see everything come together, including our menu systems and designs, to the animations, and the tower defense aspect combined with the third-person fighting. It's just really satisfying to see all of the hard work that we've been doing come together, and honestly, I think it's pretty amazing to play and see. Now, I gotta say, probably my favorite hero so far has gotta be the Ace. You get to call in airstrikes and have tons of cool planes flying around, which is just a lot of fun. Now, besides that, the biggest thing I've been working on personally is the design for the FUCU, the Field Ultimate Command Unit, which is the ultimate combination of all the powers that the Time Dystopian Hit Squad has to offer. So I tried to come up with a unique, distinct look for this enemy, something with a futuristic spaceship feel. I started with drawing it up on paper, because it was just a lot easier to visualize that way, but then I executed it in Magic of Voxel. Now, this design is probably going to change a little bit to better facilitate the way that it spawns enemies. Hint, hint, it's going to spawn enemies. But I'm really happy with what we got so far.
Alright, so that was a lot of content to get through. We're making really great progress and I'm really happy with it. But our game still has a long way to go. We needed such a huge push to get our game ready for beta testing, and that was only the first 6 levels, the first set of enemies. So it really just put into perspective how much more we have to go. That being said, it is starting to feel like the game is coming together, and all of the hundreds of hours we've been putting into this are starting to pay off, which is a great feeling. This is the first big project I'm working on, and seeing that result start to look like something that I can put on the market and just a final product, it's phenomenal. It's really great seeing that pay off. Now, if you like what you're seeing, make sure you go wishlist our game on Steam and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch out for Alex's devlog next week and Nick's the week after that, so you can stay tuned with what the rest of the Maxi gang has been up to. Now, that is all the content I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you stay tuned, and as always, game on.